We'll see how it goes. All right, cool. Wet my whistle real quick. All right, yo. We're live on the Late Night Shane Show. Thanks for everyone joining. Appreciate it. I know I didn't have one last night. I don't think this is supposed to be a daily show, to be quite honest. I think this is kind of more ad hoc. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback, whether it's like, we need Shane D daily, raunchy Shane D. Let me know. I also realized like my camera was making myself a little bit too red. I do think I actually am red right now. I'm not going to lie. Also doesn't help like when red things on the screen come up. But kind of lowered the saturation a little bit. Again, I don't have production quality. I'm basically running this on my own. Hair's a little bit slicked back because I just took a shower. Anyways, getting through that. So, trying to create a vibe like I did in the last show. I really, hope you guys can get a little energized. This isn't the same as the Daily Shane D, which is a little bit more PG-13. Same kind of vibe where we're trying to be positive and promote positivity and stuff like that, but we want to make it interesting. So, for people calling it a night, good. Get ready for tomorrow. You got a big day. Rest is okay. Rest was the name of the day today, so there's no pressure to get out there. There's actually ways you can go out without spending much money. I go out and don't drink. I just try to tip the bartender as if I, did buy some drinks. Try to give him like $10 at least. So you can either buy someone else a drink, or you can just be cheap and go with like a 5 or a 10 cash. And I don't know any bartenders that'll be mad. Most of the time they almost refuse it, and you're just like, nah, man, you hooked it up. Stuff like that goes a long way to these people. Cool. So, if you're not calling a night and you're just getting it started, maybe you already started a little bit, let's go. I salute you. I hope you have a great night. I'm creating that vibe. If you watch it after the fact, after you went out all night, that's even better. I hope you guys had a great night, and now you're kind of just winding down to some late night Shane D. So, I'm going to go into the funny story from last night. Then I'll talk about this lucky shirt that I have on, because I know everyone wants to know. And then lastly, we're going to do a little Romeo and Juliet joke. And then gonna ask for some feedback like I kind of already did. And then I'll say my goodbyes. Woe is me. Don't cry too much. Okay. So, what do I want to say? Wow, I gotta start writing way better. Oh, yeah, this dude named Charlie at the place I was at was kind of a dick at first. But then he was not a dick. He was actually kind of nice. So he was one of those people that like tips $100 at the beginning of the night to the bartender to get quick service. Good for him. You know what I mean? I think you could probably tip like a 20 right off the bat, and they'd probably take care of you. 100's great, though, if you got money like that. So at first, he like cuts in front of me, and I was like, oh, this guy's serious? Like, what a jerk. You know what I mean? He's like, what do you want? What do you want? I'm like, water. They end up getting me the water, which was like sweet, because then I didn't have to tip the person either, which I'm not saying I don't want to tip them, but it's a little awkward when I never have cash. So that was a cool story. Then, sorry, it wasn't Charlie, it's Chucky. And then after, or it said Chuck, not Chucky. But after, I said a joke that was like kind of backhanded or something, but I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, you're hung like Chucky. And he's like, was Chucky a doll? I'm like, I don't know, he had kids. I don't know. No clue. I'm not even sure. I think I dissed the guy, basically to his face. I don't know. He got me water. So that was nice of him. Anyways, then I'm dancing solo. It's this really cool like funk band, kind of like Motown. They were crushing some like, what do I want to say? They did the, do you remember the 21st night of September? Well, the best part about the whole show is they kept like swaying together. So it was like 3 of them just like perfect sway. And I got, I was a little bit awkward dancing, but I know like a little bachata step and a little salsa, which is essentially bachata. You're just like left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. And you just do that over and over. You kind of like throw in a couple of these, you know what I mean? The smile, get it done. Salsa is just left foot forward, left foot back, right foot forward. And sometimes you do like crossover. So I was just having that going. I'm terrible at counting out my 8 steps. So that was kind of funny in itself. Anyways, then I want to mention that I need to learn the electric slide, because there was a point when they were doing kind of the electric slide and they absolutely were killing it. And so it was like a group dance. I'm sitting here, I don't know the electric slide very well, but they're like leaning forward, then they're leaning back together, and then everyone knows somehow to do like a 3/4 turn, and they're all perfectly in unison. And I'm just like, I felt like I was in like a high school musical. It was sweet. I don't know how to do it myself. So I was just watching and I'm like, wow, I'm so not the main character in this event. But it was funny in itself. Maybe you want to learn how to do it. Definitely would be a vibe check. So, next. Okay, I guess what I wrote here is like an old, not a girlfriend, but a girl I dated, actually someone that was mentioned in my comedy scene, legit. I'm not going to say who and give too much details. She reached out. And that was cool. I don't really know. She's a little awkward anyways, so I'm not really sure. And this is, again, I guess my late night comedy. I, at one point, was questioning, because it's not like she looks like she has any special needs or anything like that, but I'm like, I don't know if this girl has special needs, to be honest. And it's a weird part about dating when you don't know someone from high school or anything like that. It's like, you could well be banging someone. She's just not that smart. I don't know. I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but I never got the grasp on it. That was part of the reason I stopped talking to her too much, but she reached back out. We'll see. It was a good lay, so I don't know. She may be down, but I'm up. Anyways, that's a nice joke. That's for Instagram comments for the wins. But I don't know. That's honest to God truth. Not sure. Maybe I shouldn't even go down that road now that I say it out loud again, because I kind of forgot about that because the sex was pretty good. Cool. Anyways, luckily this is off Facebook. This is why I have kind of the late night Shane D show where we can break into this stuff without getting too down a bad road. Cool. Anyways, there's a church lady there. She was very nice. I'm not going to lie. At first I was like, maybe she's a little on the older side. Too old for me. Didn't quite have the looks. But she just kept like, you know when you're at the dentist and like the dental assistant keeps like rubbing her boobs on you and you're like, I'm not going to complain with a little like boob on my elbow. That's what I was getting a lot of. She was kind of going down the church road. And she was actually very nice because I was talking about how some people say like, if you don't accept Jesus as your life and your Lord and Savior, you're going to hell. I mentioned that I think on one of these shows that like someone basically said that right to my face. And I was like, oh, you basically just told me I'm going to fucking hell, lady. So this lady is very nice. She was like being very like bite her tongue, trying to be calm and not like overwhelm me, which was very kind of her. At one point though, she dropped that. She's like, we're in a war. And I was like, well, yeah, like Israel Pence. She's like, no. We're in a war of like God and Satan. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, this lady's a little crazy. But she's nice. She wasn't mean or anything. And then the funniest story about this lady, but as far as I'll go into it, actually, no, there's two more stories. So one, she's like, oh, I left my phone in the car because I just like didn't have any pocket. Or like, she basically is like, I had nowhere to put it. And I'm like, don't you have pockets? She's like, I put my money in my bra. And I'm like, don't you have pockets? And then like a minute later, she's like, I do have pockets. And I'm like, this lady's crazy. I'm like, this lady's legit crazy. So at one point she talked about how like the AC in her car went, this and that, and how God's funny because I was talking about being a comedian. And she said like when she was thinking about how like my AC's gone, there was like 3 other problems. And she goes like, God said to her, which is already a little weird, but like whatever, I'm not going to judge. She goes, God said to me, don't lump it all together, you're making me look bad. And that was her example of why God's funny. And I was like, that is kind of funny if he did say that. And I was like, what, you got like a phone line to God or something? Flash forward, I'm driving home. I think we just happened to have similar paths because I didn't see her leave. She didn't see me leave. But suddenly there's a car in front of me that says, it's like written in like black Sharpie, maybe like black paint. It says, God gave me this car. And then it says something like Satan lies, like fuck Satan. But it didn't say fuck Satan. But that's in my head. I was like, holy shit. That's nuts. So, anyways, that's the God gave me my car lady. Not dissing it by any means. I do find that I'm leaning more and more towards like a non-denominational church just based on some of my interactions. And I also just realized now that ChatGPT X'd out on me and I have a little assignment that I gave it. So I'm just going to try to get that open while I'm multitasking. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. I'll just say really quick, if you have feedback for me, just like I do in the other show, like what's the good I should keep doing, what's the bad I should stop doing, and anything in between, like what's just basic advice you can give for me. I'm not even sure what the time is we're at, but I want to keep it short. But, anywho, okay. Yeah, that's it. Oh, you know what? I got to say the story about my lucky shirt first, so I'll do that. So, I'm not going to say who. If you saw the last episode, you might know who it is, but it could be someone else too. There's this one kid I know that had a lucky shirt, and I'm not lying, from like December through, let's say, May, right? Every time he wore that shirt, and we would be in like the same 3 bars, somehow didn't deflect or anything. He'd wear the same sweatshirt. It wasn't even a good-looking sweatshirt. Like, no offense to him. It was just like very plain, kind of looked like something you'd get off like, I don't know, like Marshalls. Like, it was just a very basic kind of thin shirt with good material. Like, it was a sweatshirt. Every time he wore it, he'd take another girl home. Girls would come up to him. He's just a good-looking guy, obviously. But, like, he would not wear that shirt, and he wouldn't get any. And then he'd wear that shirt, like, 3 times in a row, and he'd go 3 for 3. It was crazy. It was, like, something in that jersey, that sweatshirt, was blessed. There was, like, a smell coming from it. Some sort of pheromone got dropped on it. I don't know. It was blessed by like a lucky leprechaun of sex because that thing was awesome. Now we flash forward to my shirt, okay? I don't know if you can see it. It's like signed by people. I got this when I was like a little kid. Never wore this shirt. Never wore it because I was like, there's signatures on it. This is like an AHL team, or not even AHL, it's like a juniors team. Some of these guys might have made the league. I never will even find that out. No one in the world would be able to validate it. There's no papers, nothing on it. So whatever. So in college, I started wearing it, and I've probably only worn it a total of like 4 or 5 times, and one of my friends wore it once. I can't confirm that when my friend wore it, he got laid, but I'm thinking I'm batting over 500 in this thing. So for me to be batting over 500, this thing's lucky. I'm not really wearing it for that reason, but after I put it on, I was like, man, I feel good. So this is kind of like the mask, Jim Carrey, but instead it's the jersey, and we'll see. I just turned into an absolute freaking, I don't even know what you would call it, like Rico Suave kind of thing. So that's the lucky shirt story. We're done with that now. Now I told you guys we'd make a joke on Romeo and Juliet. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if we're ever going to have that good of a joke. The idea is funny, but it's hard to come up with a punchline for it. I had to ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is not like a master at jokes or anything like that, but this is what they came up with quick. So it goes, why did Romeo and Juliet never make good comedians? Because their jokes always ended in tragedy. It's not bad. What did Romeo say when he was asked to do stand-up comedy? To laugh or not to laugh? That is the question. Not bad. Not bad. It could be better. It could be worse. Probably better than what I had. Why did Juliet break up with Romeo after their improv class? Because he always insisted on taking things too seriously and she couldn't handle the drama. Not bad. That's kind of just like talking about like drama. Not the best ChatGPT, not the worst. Then I asked for another one and it goes, why did Romeo and Juliet's texting habits lead to tragedy? Because instead of sending clear messages, they kept using wherefore art thou and thou art. Turns out, Shakespearean texting isn't the best for avoiding misunderstandings. It's not bad. It's not great. Something there, though. All right, here's another one. This is the last one I asked it, and then I'll probably call it after this. Why did Romeo and Juliet's love letters never reach each other in time? Because they were using Verona's oldest messaging service, Carrier Pigeon Express. Apparently, the pigeons were on strike, and their love notes got lost in translation. Turns out a lack of effective communication methods can be a real tragedy. That one's probably the best one. I do like that they say apparently the pigeons were on strike. That's just me. So, anyways, that's ChatGPT's best thing. I'm going to still try to write one. I know I said I'd give you guys one. I don't know. Maybe there's like a Montague or like, I don't know. Like why? I don't know. All I could think of, like I just said, maybe like, why did Romeo kill himself when he thought Juliet was dead? Like, because she was the perfect beard for him or something. That's kind of like a gay joke. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm like stuck on that. No one else has messaged me any Romeo and Juliet jokes. Never really heard a Romeo and Juliet joke. So that's probably why. Gonna start with next joke. We're gonna change the subject a little bit. I have the base for a joke that I don't think's funny yet, but it has a little more punchline than what I went in with Romeo and Juliet. So for the next joke, get your joke books out, start brainstorming. Next time we have this session, what we're going to be joking about, and I'll give you the joke and then you'll kind of get the gist. So you think your job sucks? Somebody's got to change those urinal cakes. Think about it. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of something there. Like there's literally someone's job is they have to like pick up a thing that people just piss on all day. And I don't know about you, but no amount of gloves would make me like really not feel disgusted doing that. So that's my little joke for the future. We're going to talk about urinal cakes and how shitty of a job it is. And then maybe like you could almost say like some guys to pick up urinal cakes and he has to clean up clogged toilets. Talk about a shitty job. You know what I mean? Something like that. So probably how you deliver it's the most important, but it is what it is. Anyways, I want to say goodbye. Thanks everyone for joining. Max, you kind of caught the end. I'll do my best to post this ASAP. It is on YouTube at Shane D Comedy, so that should actually be posted almost immediately, quicker than I can do it. You'll be able to see a quick recap. We kind of messed up, or we gave up on Romeo and Juliet for once, and now we're moving on to like shitty jobs. You did miss it, bro, but I think I said 8:15, but I ended up being late anyways. Anywho, I hope you have a good night. I hope if you're chilling in for the night, hope you have a great day tomorrow. If you're making a second win, hope you have a great night. I know there's not too much to do in Massachusetts in general, which is why I kind of left there. other than Boston and spending an arm and a leg. But you never know. You could go down to Rafferty's. You know, there's definitely stuff to do in the Pembroke area. You could go, what's everyone love there? Oh my God. I almost said Flanagan's. Why can't I think? Oh my God, why can't I think of it right now? I'm like, I almost just said Chum Bucket too, but it's, oh my God, now basketball. I can't even think of it, but it's where the old Jamie's was. Hopefully you have a good night. Hope everyone has a good night. Oh, you live in Southie? Oh, well, I love Southie. Go to Hunter's then. But you have a girlfriend, so I don't know. But Hunter's is great. Publico's great. Then you got, I like Locos. And then whenever you're done, you know, you head to Lincoln. But that's only if, like, you're really just not done for the night, not calling it quits. Like I said, you probably have a girlfriend. So if I had a girlfriend, I'd never be caught dead in Lincoln because that's just where, like, the scraps of the scraps go. That's kind of like, it's like after you eat your Thanksgiving dinner, the dog starts picking up, you know, the meat under the table. That's Lincoln for you, or Capo. Yeah, those days are behind you. Yeah, but that's why Hunter's is good, my guy. Hunter's and Publico could be good times, but 9 o'clock on a Saturday, if you're not out yet, I kind of vibe that too. I'm going out just for the UFC fights. Wish me luck. Got a couple DraftKings out there. And hell yeah, hope you have a good one. Peace, peace. Oh, actually, hold on. I like to end it in here now. I'm starting to learn how to not cut it at the end. So